To cut or not to cut? That's the question. Circumcision has been part of human culture for thousands of years. It's tied to religion, tradition, and in some cases, health. In 2015, an international research group estimated that about 38% of men worldwide have undergone circumcision. The numbers vary dramatically. In many Muslim-majority countries, rates reach 90 to 99%. But even in places far from those traditions, like the UK, Australia, Belgium, and Hong Kong, more than 20% of men are circumcised. In the United States, the rate is around 71%. Historically, circumcision became widespread in the US in the late 19th century, when doctors believed it could prevent everything from epilepsy to bad habits. Medicine has come a long way since then, but the practice remained common for decades. So what exactly are we talking about? The foreskin, or prepuce, appeared in early mammals roughly 100 million years ago. For humans, it's part of the standard biological package. And yet, evidence suggests circumcision has existed for at least 20,000 years, based on Paleolithic rock art studied by researchers Javier Angulo and Marcos Garcia Diaz. Why did ancient people start removing it? The foreskin acts like a protective hood for the glands. But that protection comes with a downside. The space beneath it can trap moisture and microorganisms. In hot regions like ancient Egypt or Mesoamerica, where people often wore minimal clothing and water was scarce, circumcision may have started as a practical hygiene measure. Ritual meaning came later. Today, hygiene and inflammation are still part of the conversation, along with other medical reasons. One example is phimosis, a condition where the foreskin doesn't retract as a child grows. For some, this can lead to discomfort or complications later in life. Circumcision is one of the ways this issue is addressed. Researchers have also studied circumcision in relation to certain infections. Some large-scale analyses suggest correlations between circumcision and lower rates of specific conditions, including those linked to certain strains of human papillomavirus, HPV. Countries where circumcision is common, such as Israel, report relatively low rates of penile cancer, though many factors contribute to those statistics. There has also been research examining circumcision and HIV transmission risk. Several randomized studies conducted in parts of Africa in the early 2000s found lower rates of HIV acquisition among circumcised men. These findings are part of broader public health discussions, but they don't replace safer sex practices or medical guidance. And what about sensitivity? Some people assume that removing the foreskin reduces sensation. But a study led by John Krieger at the University of Washington followed 3,000 sexually active men in Kenya. Half were circumcised at the start of the study, and half 2 years later. Participants reported their experiences throughout the process. The results? Many in the first group reported positive sexual outcomes, including maintained or even increased sensitivity. As always, individual experiences vary. Circumcision is a complex topic. Cultural, historical, biological, and personal. There's no single narrative that fits everyone, and no universal answer to whether it should or shouldn't be done. What we can do is look at the science, understand the history, and recognize that people's choices around this practice come from many different places, and that's baby science for you.